I began my Beverly Jenkins reading journey in 2022. 4 years ago, I have amassed a substantial collection of her books. She has written historical romance, romantic suspense, contemporary small town fiction, and even YA historical romance. I want to share with you my current top 5 Beverly Jenkins books. Welcome back to Reading Sprints and Chai Sips. I'm your girl SASHABONAY, and I thought today would be a quick video. I wanted to do my top 5 at the moment Beverly Jenkins books. And why I say at the moment is because that could change at any given moment depending on what I reread and how much I love it on the reread, because first time reading all of these books, I was enamored by her writing, by her style of writing, by the content of what she writes and how accurate it is to historical fact. Beverly Jenkins is the GOAT for a reason. So my top 5 at this moment, let's get into it. Now these are the top 5. However, they are in no particular order. So it's no 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There is no order. I'm just giving them to you as the top 5 as a rounded number that is uneven. So the first book. Now there is a book called Wild Rain, and that is Spring Lee's book, but this one is Spring Lee's brother's book. So this book is called Tempest by Beverly Jenkins. This one is about mail order brides. Now you meet the FMC Reagan in a different book. All of Beverly Jenkins' books are interconnected in some form or fashion. No, you do not have to read them in a particular order, but it would be fun and you get the references very easily. But Reagan is from a different book, and so is our MMC, Dr. Colton Lee. He puts an advert in a newspaper for a mail order bride, and our FMC answers that, rides the train all the way to him, and they do not hit it off. As you would expect, they do not know each other. And so she shoots him the first time they meet. Dr. Lee is used to women being docile, and Reagan is anything but. She's at home in her denims as well as her dresses, and this story was fun, romantic, charismatic. The banter was great. I do recommend it. The next one is Midnight. This book is timeline wise. This book should be read way ahead of a lot of the other ones because it happens a bit ahead, before I believe even the Civil War happens. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. In Midnight, we have a female spy, a female black spy by the name of Lady Midnight, who by day goes by Faith Kingston, who is the daughter of a tavern owner, who is on the side of, you just have to read it, but he's on one of the sides of the war. You just have to figure out which side he was on and why she is a spy. And she runs into Nicholas Gray, who has just returned back home after finding out that his father has been killed, and possibly due to this Lady Midnight spy. This one, again, is so good, especially since you learn how women spies were used during, before, and after the war to get information and intel on whichever side of the war. This was really, really good and entertaining. Next up is the first book, the very first book I ever read by Beverly Jenkins that ushered me into that collection that you saw at the beginning of this video of my books by Beverly Jenkins, my love for her writing, and that is Rebel. Rebel is the first book, the Women Who Dare series, where there are 3 books in this series that just show you women who are stepping outside of the box, especially for the time period that they are in. And here we have Valinda Lacey, and I was introduced to my first Levesque man, and the Levesque men are nothing to be played with. They are, I would say, Beverly Jenkins' best characterized and penned men, in my opinion. But the Levesque men started for me with Drake Levesque. and Valinda Lacey is being a rebel. She wants to become a teacher. She is from the North, and she goes down South to be a teacher because the South needs teachers right now, and no one wants to teach the Black boys and girls. And she said, I will. I'll do that. I'll be the one to do that. And she runs into Drake when she is about to be assaulted by some white and Black Confederate soldiers. But he's also the big man around town, and he stops that in its tracks. This is so good. This had me scared. I was like trembling in my own britches because I was like, am I, especially since this is the first book I've read of historical romance that is Black, I was scared that this was going to take the worst turns that a book could take being historical, and this took none of those turns. I love Beverly Jenkins' writing because not only do you get the romance, you get the historical facts, you also get to learn things that you've never learned. And by that I say, after I read this book, I looked up I researched so many different things, and they're facts. Also, in the back of most of Beverly Jenkins' books, you can find in her author's note things that she researched and that she put in here as her annotated sites. So you also can learn where she got this information from. Look it up for yourself if you need to or if you want to. This one was also a great read. So the fourth book in our list, on my list, is Vivid. This book takes place in 1876, and we have Dr. Vivica Lancaster. She is a woman physician, and there are so many parameters placed on her because, one, she's Black. Two, she is a woman, so no one gives her the respect that she deserves. Also, she wears pants, okay, and she's not taken seriously. One, because she likes to wear pants. So there is a part in this book where this man's teeth is falling straight out of his head. He is in pain. He needs to see a dentist. But back then, dentists weren't really a thing. It was doctors who also did the dental work. And he would not let her see in his mouth, check on him to make sure he was good, just because she was a woman, no matter how much pain he was going through. So that's our FMC. Then we have Nate Grayson, who is kind of like the mayor of the town that Dr. Vivica Lancaster has arrived to. And when he gets there, he is looking for Dr. Lancaster. He was expecting a man, and turns out we have a woman. They butt heads because he is the mayor and she is the doctor, and he's also gone through a lot being the mayor of this town, but also he has some bad relationships in his past. Doctor's orders are, let me take a look at your heart. Let me fix that. I enjoyed this one. And finally, we have Indigo. This is, I think, if I had to put them on a ranking scale, this is my favorite book of all time of Beverly Jenkins. But again, that changes because there's so many in here. Anyway, in Indigo, we have Hester, who has escaped slavery, and now she is a big part of the Underground Railroad, and so is our MMC, the Black Daniel. I just love the Black Daniel. And it's called Indigo because there were indigo farms that would stain your hands purple, and Indigo wears gloves so that you cannot tell that her hands and feet have been stained purple. So he calls her Indigo. I love this. Also, our MMC, the Black Daniel, is the Black Daniel because he also is a part of the Underground Railroad. He helps slaves escape on their travels to different points, and the way they meet is because she has to bring him from the brink of death, because he was caught and beat and escaped that as well. So she helps to get him back to his full self again so that he can get back to that Underground Railroad. That's how they meet. This book is so good. If it doesn't bring you to tears just because of the love and just the story in itself, I don't know what will. It touches your heart. It gives faces to these unknown people that you and I will never meet. They're in these books vividly, no pun intended, and I love them all. Again, these books can be written in publication order. They can be written in the order that the books say they are in, like 1876, 1850s, the 1840s, whatever the year is. But you can read them willy-nilly as well, because again, that's how I was introduced to Beverly Jenkins. But that's all I have for this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you've made it this far. Let me know down in the comments, have you ever read a Beverly Jenkins book? If you have read a Beverly Jenkins book, do you enjoy her writing, and which ones are your favorite? Let me know in the comments, and I will definitely see you in the next one. Bye.